Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is, wherever you are in the world. Welcome. I'm setting the intention that this be a message for you for the next 24 hours from whenever you happen to see it. I will be labeling it a message for November 9th because I'm posting it in time for the 9th where I am. I hope you all had a lovely lunar eclipse. We're going to see what's coming up here in the message here. And happy birthday to all the November 9th babies out there. Happy birthday to you if it happens to be your birthday on whatever random day you stumble upon this video. We're looking for a clear single card here. But we seem to have, okay, this one's, we're going to go with this one. All right. Ooh, we have Knight of Swords. Now, this is not surprising at all. Okay. As I said, we're coming out of the lunar eclipse. And so we're going to be feeling moon energies usually 3 days up to 7 days after a full moon. A lunar eclipse, whenever there's an eclipse, will extend it by 6 months, sometimes longer. So, as we're in these astro energies, this particular one is going to be a lot about like things coming to the surface, things that have been pushed down coming to the surface. So there could be agitation. There could be people who are aggravated or annoyed. You could be in Knight of Swords energy. You may be around somebody who's in Knight of Swords energy. Knight of Swords can come up when there's some kind of a conflict or disagreement, sometimes drama. Could be people starting drama or making drama. Knight of Swords can also sometimes come up when a situation is being sped up or escalated. So sometimes I see this card come up when maybe you had a plan of something you were thinking of doing and you were telling yourself, I'll do it 6 months from now, or I'll do it next year. Sometimes Knight of Swords comes up and says, nope, we're going to do this now. Okay, it's happening now. So there could be something that if you have had it in your mind that you're going to be moving in a few months or a year or something. Something could happen where it's like, nope, surprise, you're going to be moving now. Or looking for a job. You may say, oh, I'll wait a few more months and then I'll start seeing what's out there. And then all of a sudden things are happening at work and you're like, oh, I see the writing on the wall, right? This is a sinking ship, or they're getting ready to let people go. And you're like, okay, well, let me get out there now. Let me start putting my resume out there now. So whatever it is, there could be a situation that you're thinking in your mind that you're going to do it, but not quite yet. Knight of Swords can come up to say that things are happening or shifting to where now you're going to be doing it sooner than you had realized. And that's just the universe letting us know it's time to move forward. It's nothing to be stressed out about. It's nothing to be scared about. It's just keeping us in the flow of divine timing, making sure we're on the right path, making sure that we're not going to miss our blessings, or we're too late or too early. It's keeping us on track and keeping us in the flow of divine timing. So there could be that element here for some of you. I also feel here that there's something with the Knight of Swords in terms of focus, because sometimes this card comes up for me when we're not necessarily in the energy of drama or disagreement. One thing I do want to say though, if you do encounter the energy in the sense of there's a disagreement or somebody's arguing with you, one of the things to keep in mind about Knight of Swords energy, if you're the kind of person where you want to be diplomatic and you want to say, you know what, let's find the common ground here. I don't want to fight. I don't want to argue. I'm not about the drama. I'm sure at the end of the day, we both want what's best. Let's find the common ground. Let's find resolution. Unfortunately, when you're dealing with a Knight of Swords energy or Knight of Swords person, they want what they want and that's it, right? Like they're not really open to reason. They're not really open to sit there and be like, okay, let's talk this out. Let's find a solution. Knight of Swords, there's only one solution and that's what they want. The only solution is you're going to do what I tell you to do. you're going to give me what I tell you to give me. And that's not much of a solution. So sometimes this can come up to say, save your energy, save your breath, and just don't engage. Don't engage with this. Step away, go in another direction, because this is not a situation where you're going to find a common ground or mediation, or hearing each other out. Knight of Swords wants what Knight of Swords wants, and that's it. In accordance with that, or in that flow, sometimes I see the Knight of Swords come up when it's a sense of like you're focusing on something, like you have laser beam focus or laser beam intention or attention. So there could be something where you might have a single mindedness right now, where you're like, this is where I'm setting my sights on, and this is what I'm focusing on, like this laser beam focus. This is the direction I'm going in, like eyes on the prize kind of energy. And to be honest, this is what I'm feeling for the majority of you. Sometimes I go through the other meanings because it happens a lot in the comments when somebody says, I thought this card means this, or I thought this card means that. It happens sometimes with the Five of Pentacles. Oh, I thought Five of Pentacles means being shut out. I see it happen in the comments, or this happened to me, somebody rejected me. And one of the things we need to know about the tarot cards is they have layers of meaning. They have more than one meaning. When you're learning tarot and you look up the keywords, there's different keywords. And sometimes some of them can be confusing because you're like, okay, well, how do I know if it's this one or that one? It depends on the other cards that come up with the card that you're in the question, like the energy around it. It also depends on the energy of the reading. And so it's up to the reader to connect with the energy, to tap into their intuition, and get the sense of the card. Somebody commented yesterday, what if this card was reversed? Would it mean the same thing? It would not. It would not. But I'm intuitive and I read intuitively, and I don't flip the cards because I feel the energy around it. And there's times I'll get Ace of Cups and I'll feel like this person's longing for it, because yesterday's card was Ace of Cups. This person's longing for this, but I feel sadness around it, so they're not getting it, right? So I don't do reversals. So I go over the other meanings before sometimes I get into the intuitive message, because I know somebody's going to hear me talking about the intuitive message and be like, but that's not what this card means. This card can mean things being sped up. This card can mean like arguments, disagreements, drama. So we talked about that. And a lot of the times I do see this card come up when the person is like the Knight of Swords, like you're rushing. You're in this Knight of Swords energy and you're rushing towards something. You're not open to agreement. You're not open to discussion. But it's because you have your sights set on like where you want to be. So sometimes it could be a single-mindedness in this way, a one-track mind in this way. I've seen it happen a lot. I've seen it happen a lot over the years reading for people. And intuitively, that's the energy that I feel. It's like there's this lightning, there's this storm, right? And he's like, he doesn't even care. He's not even fazed by it. He's just charging ahead to where he's trying to get to. He's not slowing down. He's not concerned about the lightning. He's not concerned about the weather. He knows where he wants to be and he's going for it. And that's the energy I'm feeling here in this in this card. Okay? Maybe for some of you, there could be disagreements, conflict, and drama, okay? Right now is a time that emotions are running high. But this is also a time that a lot of us are beginning to discover ourselves and get a better understanding of who we are and what we truly want. And I feel that a lot of you have been trying to manifest things for a long time because you thought it was going to make you feel a certain kind of way. And all of a sudden you're like, I don't even like this. I don't even want this. I've just been trying to manifest it because I thought it was going to give me this, 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 and this. But you're realizing there's an easier way to get this, 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 and this. You don't have to go through. Some of you have been stuck in trying to manifest the how instead of the what. And you're like, wait a minute. The how that I'm manifesting is awfully complicated. There's more than one road to get there. And I don't even want the how so much as the what. And so you have this focus now, and you're redirecting your focus, you're redirecting or reprioritizing your manifestations or the things that you're putting out to the universe, and you're like, this is what I want. So essentially, it's like you've had this epiphany and you're seeing a shortcut. You're like, I see a shortcut to the what, because this whole time I've been trying to manifest the how. I'll give you an example, and I've given this example before, and I stick with it because I think a lot of people are like, oh, wow, okay. Um, let's say somebody is obsessed with, I don't really know much about cars or care about cars, but let's say somebody's like obsessed with Lamborghinis, and that's their whole thing. Their whole dream is to have a Lamborghini. Like, it would just mean the world to them. But they work at McDonald's, and they're thinking to themselves, there's no way I'm ever going to get a Lamborghini. It's impossible. And so they start saying, well, I'm going to manifest it. And they start thinking, you know what? I could get a better job and make a lot of money, and then I'd be able to afford a Lamborghini if I was making a lot of money. I'll make a lot of money if I go to college, but right now I can't really afford to go to college. But McDonald's has a program where if I become manager, then they'll help me with college, they'll help me with the scheduling, they'll help me with the going to school, or like there's like financial aid and stuff. And so they have this big long thing of how they're going to manifest the Lamborghini by getting the promotion and becoming manager, and getting the grant or whatever to go to school, to go to college, to get a higher paying job to pay the Lamborghini. But then you get the higher paying job and you're left with a big old college school loan, and that needs to be paid off. And so it's just like this constant long thing. There are other ways that this Lamborghini could happen. There are other ways of getting a higher paying job. They don't all have to do with going to college. You can tap into your gifts or abilities. You can go into, I don't know, I've seen people build wonderful things for their life financially, going into construction or doing some kind of physical labor. It doesn't always have to be, I'm going to, go through this whole big long chain of events to make a certain income. You could win a Lamborghini in some kind of a sweepstakes. It's possible. You could win the lottery and buy a Lamborghini. You could encounter somebody that has a Lamborghini and like leaves it to you in their will. These things are possible. These things can happen. They're possible things. They're not that far fetched. But sometimes we get really, really caught up in the how. And when it comes to getting the Lamborghini, why do they want the Lamborghini? Do they think people are going to respect them more? Do they think they're going to get a bunch of hot chicks? Like, what do you think the Lamborghini is going to do for you? You might get respect in another way. You might get a lot of hot chicks in a different way. You might not need the Lamborghini. And so there's this whole thing of like a shortcut. There's an easier way to do this. And so I feel intuitively with the messages here is, as we're kind of getting to know ourselves better right now, coming into our authenticity, doing the self-reflection work, we're realizing some of the things we've been trying to manifest. We've been trying to manifest because someone somewhere along the way convinced us, conditioned us, programmed us to make us think we're not going to be happy unless we have this specific thing. And we're like, I don't even want that. And then also in that whole process, we're going to realize what we want, and that there's an easier way to get what we want versus some of the things we've been trying to manifest right now, or some of the things that we've been working on. And so I feel like there's a big adjustment here in this way. And once you're having this realization, you're going to get to the finish line a lot more quickly. It's going to be sped up. It's not going to be, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 10 years from now. You're saying, I can have this right now. I don't have to wait for the whole process of getting promoted and applying for a program and getting into the program, then going to school for 4 years, 6 years, 8 years, then paying off all the debts. There's a quicker way. There's a quicker way. And this is what I feel is a lot of you are realizing, I can have this much sooner, and I can make my life a lot easier on myself. And so I feel there's that laser beam focus, that epiphany. This is what I want. This is what I'm going for. I'm going for the finish line here. Okay? And there may be interference. There may be people telling you, that you should do things the way everybody else is doing it, or you should do it the way they're telling you to do it. But when there's an easier way, why not take the easier way? If somebody else feels bad about that, or angry about that because they think it's not fair, well, the easier way is available to them also. They make their decision, you make your decision. And when I talk about the easier way, I'm not talking about cutting corners or doing things that are deceitful or unethical. I'm just talking about you realizing, in a term of like efficiency, there's a more efficient way. It doesn't have to be so complicated. So that's a very good thing. I thank you all for watching, liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing. Check out the weekly forecasts if you haven't already. Love readings for November are linked in the description. Private readings are linked in the description. Calendly.com/amethystangelite. You can schedule a private reading with me there. I thank you all for watching, liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing. Take care, my darlings, and be well.